This is Hammett.
And Jessica.
And you're listening to the Friendly Atheist Podcast. Please go to patreon.com/friendlyatheistpodcast to support this show, get your ad-free and bonus episodes. And if you haven't heard about it enough yet, we are about to hit our 600th episode, and we're going to have a celebration in the western suburbs of Chicago on September 13th. That's a Saturday. It's coming up soon. Everyone's invited. There are details in the show notes. It is at a place called Solemn Oath Brewery, and we're also celebrating, in addition to episode 600. Jess, what else are we celebrating?
Oh, yeah. It's also my 40th birthday on October 1st, and my husband's and my 10th year anniversary on September 19th. And so it's going to be an unusual blend of, like,
everything.
My IRL friends and, like...
Oh, that's a mistake.
All y'all. So, I don't know. Everybody's been very cool. Every person I've met has been...
When different friend groups collide, you have made a terrible error.
It really... There's something so, like, out of body of watching, like, two people talk that who simply should not meet.
Right.
Like, that's not okay.
So come meet Jessica's IRL friends.
Yeah, and my dog and my husband and, you know,
go.
I think my folks are going to be there, my niece and nephew and brother and sister-in-law. It is going to be fun.
We will see you there in a week and a half-ish.
Yeah, and there's a food truck, and there's, like, a bunch of non-alcoholic stuff.
Pets are invited. Kids are invited, too.
Rain or shine, we're going to be outside, hopefully, but if there's rain, there's...
or not.
Well, there's, like, a big fucking brewery we can go into.
Exactly.
So...
Hope to see you there.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see everybody.
All right, let's start with this story involving... I figured I'd get this out of the way first because it's your favorite state and your favorite person.
Oh,
there you go.
Oklahoma.
So when
doing a Gregorian chant now.
When your state is at the bottom of all the national education rankings, you would think if you're in charge of education, your job would be to figure out how to attract better teachers, provide more funding to public schools, and make sure your curriculum is solid so that the kids who are in school can achieve success if they choose to go to college.
Or sabotage not. Mississippi and Alabama so you can climb the charts that way.
That would be a better use of Ryan Walters' time. But Ryan Walters, the superintendent of public instruction, he's done none of those things. We've talked about him forever, but basically his solutions to education in Oklahoma have involved, let's give public school money to private religious schools.
Yep.
Let's shove the Bible in as many classes as possible.
Yep.
Let's shove Jesus into the curriculum as much as possible. And he's not really trying to attract the best teachers either, because recently, and by recently I mean like a month and a half ago, and to the point where he said this thing, and I'm like, he says a lot of things. We can ignore this one. He said that if you're a teacher and you're from California or New York and you're thinking, I want to come to Oklahoma to teach, which is totally a thing that happens in real life.
So much.
But if you're coming from one of those woke states, to use his words, you're going to have to pass a little test before we allow you to teach in Oklahoma, because we got to undo that brainwashing.
Well, because they have such a long pipeline that they've been building for years and years, and so they can afford to be picky.
Oklahoma is a state suffering from a massive teacher shortage. And the reason is not because Californians and New Yorkers have it too easy when it comes to coming to Oklahoma to teach. But what Walter said at the time is we're putting together this test. By him, he's like PragerU, the right-wing propaganda site. They're putting together a test, and it's going to assess teachers' knowledge of things like the Constitution and, quote, fundamental biological differences between boys and girls. Okay.
What are they going to do?
For math teachers, by the way.
Like, this is the wildest thing that they're clinging to with both hands. This biological difference
it's
between...
all they have.
It is weird.
J.K. Rowling has no more books to write. This is all she's got.
That's not true. She has another book coming out this month.
Oh, Jesus. So... they never released this test. So it's like, yeah. He just says a bunch of shit. He gets the headlines he wants. When's he actually going to do anything about this? And then over the weekend, they announced that PragerU had bought a full-page ad in the New York Times.
Oh, just like Donald Trump did.
That very anti-woke publication. They published a full page. They bought a full-page ad in the New York Times where they published the entire 34-question test with the headline, "Can you pass this test? If so, come to Oklahoma and teach for us." By the way, not only did they buy a full-page ad, which could run about
in New York City
on Sunday, which is like
God's Day.
The amount of money it takes for a full-page ad on a Sunday is at least 6 figures. And then they also bought a separate ad on the very front page of the Times at the very bottom, which was just like a QR code that says, like, take the teacher test for Oklahoma. So, like, they spent money on this shit, and this is how they revealed their test to the world.
So they're baiting isn't the right word. They're aiming toward New York City. And kind of people who read the New York Times.
Right. Not exactly the audience of people who want to teach in Oklahoma voluntarily, as in they're going to relocate
But,
to Oklahoma.
all of that shit, regardless, why would you, like, fish into these liberal waters and
I
be
wonder
like,
that.
and then just be like angry about it? Like, you want a teacher and you can't like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like,
they'll
why
trash
would you?
the New York Times constantly, but also they're like, we have to get this in front of people's eyeballs. What's the best publication? Fox? No, let's do
Like,
the
we
New
want
York
teachers,
Times.
but it's definitely not anybody who's reading this right now.
Right, because if you can read... No, I don't want to... I'm not knocking the
come
teachers.
on.
I'm not knocking the teachers.
Those poor people.
So they published this test, and again, Ryan Walters was promoting the advertising. Like, did anyone read the New York Times today?
And everyone's like, oh yeah, let me go to my front stoop and get my copy.
And they're posting pictures of themselves reading the print New York Times. Like, this is no joke. Like, they're actually just yeah, look, I'm reading the New York Times today. Why? Because there's this test inside. Like, no irony, no, hey, maybe you're a hypocrite right now. No, none of that. Anyway, the point is they published the entire test for the first time. They also made it available online alongside the print publication.
I'm sorry, is the print publication like a mail-in situation? Do you have to pay for a stamp?
It was you can see it on there, but if you actually want it to count, you got to go take the online test. That's what the QR code is for. The website is listed on the full page ad. So
I bet they write the whole thing in cursive because millennials can't read cursive.
So here's the thing about this test that people started pointing out almost immediately. Before you get into that, here's what you need to know about this test. It's not really a test. Let's say you're in California, you need to relocate to Oklahoma because maybe your spouse got a job there and now you want a teaching job there. Let's say that happened. You want to teach in Oklahoma now. Turns out, as far as I can tell, you do not need to take this exam in order to teach.
I mean, it's an exam in so much that Teen Vogue personality quizzes are exams.
Right. What this is a massive publicity stunt for PragerU to just pretend that they care about education. They do not.
I have a stupid question.
Yeah.
Is PragerU an actual university?
Famously, no, they're not.
Okay, so I don't feel as stupid.
This is not a test. So, PragerU,
Which
the not
one is
university.
The Lion Commandment?
Yeah. PragerU, which is not a university, is putting out this test, which is not a test, for people who want to teach in Oklahoma. But by the way, you don't actually have to take it if you are coming from another state, for reasons I will explain in a second.
There is a metaphor in here somewhere, and I'll find it by the end of the story.
Lying is fine if you're a Republican. That's the moral.
That's not a metaphor. That's just a thing you just said.
Here's the thing about this, and every time I say test from here on out, put big
Quotes.
quote hands around it. Yeah. Here's the thing about this test. It doesn't matter what you answer. I signed up online with fake names. I live on 123 Sesame Street. I did all that shit.
It's a good neighborhood.
And then I started taking this test.
Oh, God.
And here's what you find out really quickly.
It's stupid.
It is stupid, but it doesn't matter what you answer because even when I was like, what are the first 3 words of the Constitution?
Oh, God.
Answer is we the people, but the options are other things. And if you click
Face
on
McGee.
Yeah, and if you click on anything else, they're just like, that is not true. Try again. And I did it 3 times and they're like, that is not correct. Try again. We the people, that is correct. Next question.
Oh, boy.
It is. You cannot answer incorrectly even if you want to, and there's no recording of the fact that I was wrong 3 times out of 4 on purpose.
Do you don't remember this, but in Parks and Rec, when Leslie Knope is running against Paul Rudd for town council or whatever, they show these voting machines that are sponsored by the guys, by Adam Scott, or Paul Rudd's dad.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't think these voting machines are fair. Like, who do you want to elect? Like, and look, when you vote for Bobby Newport, boop, and you get a candy bar.
Right.
When you hit Leslie Knope, it's like, are you sure about this?
Right.
Hit it again. I don't think you're making, like, this is exactly what this is.
So you have to just keep guessing until you get the answer they want you to pick. And when you're done, this is my favorite part.
Yeah.
Let's say you finished the exam. What score did you get on the exam? 100%.
Oh,
Because
congratulations.
there's no other alternative. You cannot fail. You cannot get an A-. There's only one possible score. It's 100.
This feels like the beginning of a cult or like Scientology of like, hey, take
I
this
aced my Scientology test.
Yeah, like,
My
hey, take this
E-meter.
personality test
Right.
and we'll tell you interesting things about yourself. Our souls are goblins.
Yes. And you do have a personality, so there you go. So when
You're
you're
a
done,
PNGT.
they email you a certificate of achievement.
What? Did you print it out?
I will tell you what, I entered in the fake email address at the beginning, so I did not get one.
No.
But somewhere, fart@fart.com is getting a wonderful certificate on behalf of whatever my name is.
What was his name?
Probably Bob Smith.
Yeah, that's what I figured you'd go with.
But my favorite, if you look at pictures that people have shared online of their certificates, one says, this is to certify that Jess has successfully completed the teacher qualification test. This is to certify. They spelled certify wrong.
No, they didn't.
On the template for the thing, where the only thing they need to insert is your name, they spelled certify wrong.
How can you?
How do you spell certify wrong? Take a guess.
Oh, with an S?
That would have been
Or
great.
a D? C-E-R-D-I?
Certifiy.
Certify.
Yeah, it
Oh, I
doesn't
love
even make
that.
sense as a typo.
Which is wild because, it's not even a typo, and I can't make typos anymore. I can barely type people's names because my autocorrect is so aggressive with me. How do you fuck up this hard?
And that's their,
It's like,
their
remember
certificate.
the Purdue Pubic University billboard? We lost our fucking minds. How many eyes were on that thing?
Right, that's the question. Clearly, no one beta tested
This is why Hemet, what do I always say? People need to spend money on copy editors.
There you go.
Jessica Blumke Greiff at
There you go.
.com. Available for all your copy editing
One
needs.
other thing, when you're done with the online questions and you get your certificate, you are redirected to a page where not, hey, send us your resume now. No, it's you can make a donation to PragerU, because that's what this is all about. None of this is an actual filter for educators. It's an ad campaign for a right-wing group propped up by Ryan Walters and the Oklahoma State Department of Education.
Okay, so wait, I'm so sorry.
We haven't even gotten to the questions yet, I know.
It doesn't even send you to like the website,
To send in
Oklahoma
your resume.
teachforoklahoma.com.
Nope, because
They don't care.
they don't care,
That's
and
not
Ryan
the point.
Walters doesn't do any hiring. So what's he gonna do with your friggin'
Ryan
resume?
Walters doesn't hire anybody. Of
Right.
course he doesn't. What?
Right. So none of this helps students. None of this makes you a better teacher.
how much
and you would learn more by accidentally turning on a Jackie Chan movie from the 1980s.
Hey, it's a callback.
So-
Never mind. Go ahead.
It's also, as I'm taking it, it's just a shitty test. Because if you've ever taken a standardized test, you know some answer choices are purposely close, but not quite right. You know, they're meant to trip you up. There's none of that here. There are multiple obviously wrong answers for every question, and not even trying to distract you in any way.
Are you going to read them all to me?
I'll read some of them to you.
Come on, all of
So,
them.
again, the
maybe
point
the
is-
bonus episode we can read
There you
all
go.
of them.
Why are they doing this? Because it's not about assessing anybody, but using the purported test as a vehicle for promoting conservative propaganda.
Yeah.
So I'm going to skip all the basic questions, and there are many, like how many total U.S. senators are there?
Oh,
What's the answer?
52.
Fail.
52, right?
Try again.
What is it?
That's how many states, and you would still be wrong.
Oh, it's 50. 100. Fuck me.
Good job.
Okay, it's 100 for
is
the states,
correct.
and then aren't there 2 from Puerto Rico?
No, we don't care about Puerto Rico and
Or
the
like
United
the
States. We don't care about the shadow senators from Washington, D.C.
Huh.
We're
I would
in
have
America.
sworn my face is right because I'm actually quite embarrassed.
Idaho has 98 senators, and all the other blue states have 2 combined. That's how this
Exactly.
works. Anyway, let's skip all those. But, okay, again, this is a test
That actually really
for
embarrassed
all
me, actually.
teachers to teach in Oklahoma, right? That's how they're advertising this?
Yeah.
There were 4 questions specifically about trans people.
4?
4.
Out of 32?
Out of 34, yeah. Here, just to read these out. What's the fundamental biological distinction between males and females? Answer, chromosomes and reproductive anatomy.
Okay, what were the other options?
Their weight. Like, it was random other stuff.
Oh.
How is a child's biological sex typically identified? Answer, visual anatomical observation and chromosomes.
Why are we talking about looking at baby's genitalia in
Because
a teacher test?
This is all Republicans want to do. Look in your kid's pants.
It's so weird.
What chromosome pair determines biological sex in humans? And the answer is XX/XY, but the alternatives were like RQ, QZ. Like, they're not even close to being, like, if they said XXYY, you would say, wait a minute.
They're truly not even trying
They're not even trying. And the last one here, why is the distinction between male and female considered important in areas like sports and privacy?
Now, classically, a why question is not multiple choice.
And the answer, to preserve fairness, safety, and integrity for both sexes.
These people are so fucking weird.
Even if there wasn't a malicious anti-trans agenda at work here, you have to wonder, why are you making math teachers, foreign language teachers who want to work in Oklahoma go through all this shit?
Yeah.
Right?
Well, and it sounds like they don't have to. This is just a dumb bullshit thing that has nothing to do.
If you're taking this, you may not know that. But
that's a good point.
And again, some of those problems, it is possible. I spoke to one trans science communicator who has a PhD in this stuff. Look, someone can be assigned female at birth and later discover they have XY chromosomes and or internal testes. What about the XXXY thing? Guess what? It's fine if you're trying to introduce kids to genetics, but also there's nuance. You could have chromosomes that are X, XXY, XYY. And in XXY people, that's known as Klinefelter syndrome, 95% of individuals are assigned male at birth, but 5% are assigned female. It's complicated, is the point.
Yeah.
And as for the sports and privacy thing, which they just load all of that into one question, what the doctor said is trans people are more likely than cis people to be attacked in bathrooms, as well as have a higher rate of UTIs and kidney infections because they avoid the bathrooms out of fear. There was a story this week of a cisgender lesbian who walked into a bathroom and someone said, "Get out, you're in the wrong bathroom." And that person's like, "I'm literally not." But they said, I think they removed their top to show their boobs to basically say, "Yeah, I'm a woman. What's your problem now?" Which no one should have to do, but also
I would love to show some random woman my tits in the Walmart bathroom. That's definitely what I'm doing there.
Yes, so that's the point here. And also, trans people are not disproportionately winning medals or scholarships. And if you think high school athletes are going through transitions so they could be the star player on some whatever lacrosse team, like, no. And if you actually cared about making athletics in general fair, then you would consider things like size or weight and not genitalia. Anyway, so that's the trans stuff. That's like 4 questions out of the 34. And it's like, how are you trying to educate people or try to weed them out?
Yeah.
That's why we're saying this is propaganda. Yeah. This is not about actually finding teachers.
And again, I like to emphasize this because I did grow up playing a lot of sports. I was really competitive. I played softball and stuff like that. But I had somebody say to me, like, IRL made a joke about like the participation trophies thing. And basically what I say to that and to people who are mad that their kid got 6th place instead of 5th place or whatever is that I was a really good horseback rider. But I never really wanted to show. It was nothing I was interested in because I loved riding and I knew how competitive I was. And I knew, even when I was 14, I knew I would not be able to like be chill. And I still love horseback riding to this day. It's something I really love. Same with dance.
You played for the love of the game and it still carries with you today.
Yeah, like I have if Hammett looks over his left shoulder, the only ribbon I have ever won was from a horse show. It's a sixth place ribbon, which I guarantee you there's like 12 of us and 6 of us got sixth place. That's the only ribbon I have. But I genuinely still love it. And I have seen kids burn out, and I've seen people's parents pressure them into burning out. And to what end? Like, do you really need to be the best softball player in America, or can you just like have fun playing sports with your friends?
And if you think the answer is only cis people should be allowed to do that, fine. Name the last 5 number 1 softball players. You can't name WNBA players.
No, and to pretend they care about women's sports is genuinely so disingenuous.
They make fun of the WNBA nonstop. All these people.
It's the only joke they have besides the attack helicopter thing.
In addition to those questions, here's another one that's not about trans people. I'll read you the question and the options. Let's see how this goes. What right does the Second Amendment protect? A.
Are you kidding me?
This is Oklahoma. This is the only amendment that matters.
I had to backbend to not blow out the microphone when I just screamed.
What right does the Second Amendment protect? A. The right to hunt and fish.
What?
B. The right to arm the military.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
C.
Doing all the
The
above.
right to restrict certain kinds of speech. D. The right to keep and bear arms.
Oh, I thought they were trying to do a thing of like the Second Amendment protects the right to keep and bear arms. But what it really protects is our ability to hunt and protect our homes from
No, it's very much the right to
intruders.
keep and bear arms. But notice even their correct answer in that case doesn't even mention a well-regulated militia, which is kind of the whole reason that amendment is controversial.
And wasn't that B?
B was
Arming the militia?
the right to arm the military, but they already get arms. That's not because of the Second Amendment.
That is one of the wildest set of phrases put together I have ever heard.
They get worse. Here.
No, they don't.
Question 25. What did the Emancipation Proclamation do? A.
Oh, God.
Ended prohibition. B. Freed Confederate generals.
What?
C. Freed the slaves in the North. Or D. Ended slavery in the rebelling Confederate states.
What a weird way to say that.
So
Why are they phrasing everything in the straight? It's like they put everything into Google translated to Japanese and then back to English.
Ended slavery in the rebelling Confederate states, but that also raises the question of, hey, maybe you want to tell us what Juneteenth is all about?
That's exactly what I was thinking, Hammett.
It didn't just magically end everything.
I genuinely was just thinking like, well, it didn't really do that much right away. Oh my God.
Here's another one. This is...
Freed Confederate slaves is or Confederate generals is a bananas
Question
thing to say.
27. What cause is Martin Luther King Jr. best known for? A. Advocating for segregation. B. Advocating for the abolition of slavery. C. You heard me.
Abolition of slavery?
Advocating for diversity, equity, and inclusion. Or
Oh my
D,
God, I wish I was dead. That made me wish death upon myself.
Advocating for racial equality under the law.
Because I could not stop for death, death kindly stopped for me and took me away from this place.
So they want you to say advocating for racial equality under the law, which is the conservative way of saying, yeah, Martin Luther King said, don't judge us by the color of our skin. White people are not racist, and how dare you say we're racist? Martin Luther King would have a problem with you saying that white people are racist. You're reverse racist.
I think I blacked out. I don't remember what the right
That's also
answer
racist.
was.
The right answer is racial equality under the law. But the thing is,
okay.
if they're saying, like, did he advocate for DEI? It's like, no.
Oh, yeah, that's one
but
made me
also,
black out.
He is very much for diversity and equity and inclusion, if not using that particular phrase.
How fucking dare they pretend to care what Dr. King stood for? How fucking dare they pretend that it's...
This is Oklahoma. You could have asked about the Tulsa Massacre, but no, that's the
They
race
still
question.
aren't ready to face that. They need another 200 years to explain away firebombing a black neighborhood because... I think it was a boy looked at a girl, a black boy looked at a girl or something like that. Anyway, white people, we really have a cool history of doing neat stuff.
Yeah. The one other question, this is number 33. Which of the following is a phrase from the Pledge of Allegiance? A.
Wait,
I'll tell you what. I'm not giving you options. What's the phrase from the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
No, you don't get to say the whole thing.
One nation under God?
Yeah, that's the right answer. So here's your options. Which of the following is a phrase from the Pledge of Allegiance? A, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Fought for
B,
these ideals and we shouldn't settle for less. That's from Hamilton.
B, of, by, and for the people. C, one nation indivisible with liberty and justice for all. Or D, one nation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for all.
They put in the pre-communist scare
That is
version.
correct. Which is interesting because they never said, like, it says, which of the following is a phrase from the Pledge of Allegiance? C is a phrase from the Pledge of Allegiance.
If there's an ellipses in there.
Are we talking about pre-1954 or after? I mean, so I will say, one Democratic state representative, Jacob Rosencrantz, he released his own test in response to this called, is Ryan Walters the
idiot?
most incompetent state superintendent maybe ever? A, yes. B, yes, most definitely. C, yes in every way. D, yes, and it's embarrassing. Question number 4, do you believe anything Ryan Walters says? No, nope, nay, or never. And 5, does Ryan Walters actually care about parents and children? A, heck no. B, hell no. C, F no. D, all of the above.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Rob Miller is the Democrat who's hoping to become superintendent of public instruction next year when there's an election for that. He issued
Is that an elected position or
It
appointed?
is an elected one. Ryan Walters was appointed by Kevin Stitt, the governor, to be something education, but this is an elected position that he got because he was the Republican on the ballot. Rob Miller is the Democrat running against whoever if Ryan Walters doesn't have this job after. I think he's term limited out. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, is he?
Maybe,
That's
but
exciting.
he's the Democrat. He basically said this test felt like an 8th grade pop quiz. No studying, no effort, barely a second thought. And he wrote, because he's a politician and he's trying to be serious, families deserve more than political gimmicks. They deserve leaders who will do the real work of supporting teachers and improving student outcomes, which is great, but also I'm not very excited by that. Come on, make fun of the dude.
Yeah.
But this is the whole thing. This is an advertising campaign for PragerU that people, headlines, are calling an assessment. They're calling it a test. And the thing is, we know it's not going to stop outside teachers from working in Oklahoma, whoever they are, if they want to.
God bless them.
Because it was never intended to do that. Walters just wanted to promote a conservative
grandstanding.
group using his government job. So he told the media he was imposing this test on blue state transfers, but he's not, and he can't. And people are falling for it anyway. In fact, the group that actually licenses teachers from out of state to make sure you're falling under Oklahoma's guidelines is the Commission for Educational Quality and Accountability, which is a government agency in Oklahoma. And that person who runs that agency basically said 2 things, which I found interesting. One is, we're the ones that certify you, and like if you have credentials in another state, they're almost certainly going to work here.
Yeah.
But 2, this is from a newspaper article about it. Among uncertified teachers who completed certification tests in other states, but maybe they haven't taught yet, and now they want to teach in Oklahoma before they've been in the classroom. Since 2020, out of 573 out-of-state applications, only 19 came from California or New York. And she said in 2025, only 1 applicant came from California, 0 from New York. Which is to say, how many people are doing the thing Ryan Walters talking about? Literally 1 this calendar year alone, and not that many besides that. So yes, who are you keeping out at this point? Who knows?
Do you have any sense of how much that ad would have cost them?
I mean,
it must be publicly available.
The New York Times ad?
Yeah.
It's over $100K.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Sorry, my eyes almost popped out
And
of
I
my
know
skull.
this because Freedom from Religion Foundation has occasionally bought full-page ads in the New York Times. I don't think on Sundays, so it's less on other days of the week. But usually FFRF, 2 things. One is a donor says, hey, I want to get this full-page ad, and I'll pay the money for it. And also, FFRF always has a little fake coupon that's like, you want to become a member, fill this out, send it to us.
Sure.
And I'm pretty sure they would only do it. I don't know this for a fact. I'm speculating. They would only do this if A, a donor was covering all their costs.
Sure.
Or two, they were getting enough bang for their buck that made it worthwhile for them to put that ad in there. So why does PragerU do this? Because it's attention.
So it is PragerU paying for it.
Yes. The bottom of the ad said paid for by PragerU, not by taxpayers of Oklahoma. This isn't a Ryan Walters
good.
thing. Yeah. Now, tonight, Ryan Walters, I'm sorry, I should say Tuesday night of this week, Ryan Walters.
So early. I just
posted
saw you.
a video online basically bragging about how popular, you guys, his test is. And this is one of the things he said since the weekend when it all went live. He said he's already had over 16,000 people take the test and pass it.
They keep calling it a test. It's really, really getting to me. It's truly like at best a quiz.
There's no alternative to passing this test. If you take
if you start it, you finish
get 100%. Yeah.
What did he say? 60K?
He said 16,000.
Oh God, that's
how many of those 16,000 were people like me who are like, what is this bullshit?
I also think that's fewer people than listen to this podcast.
Right?
Which is, I want to be clear, saying something.
And I wonder, like, what does he count? Like, I had to fill out a lot of bullshit information about myself to even take the test. Does he just say if you visited the website? To like, what's your name? And you're like, fuck no. Does that count as one of the 16,000?
Yeah.
Or do you actually have to begin the test and finish it? I don't know. I'm guessing he's just counting clicks to the site. But also, how many people are actually people from blue states who actually want a teaching job in Oklahoma? And how many, here's the number that matters. How many of these supposed interested teachers, how many of them are you hiring from California and New York? Because that's the only thing he said this test was designed to do, to de-wokeify the California, New York, I assume Illinois, teachers who are coming to Oklahoma. Tell me how many of those teachers are transferring and that you are hiring.
Yep.
That's the only number that matters. Obviously, we don't have that answer yet, but that's the only thing anyone should be asking.
Yeah.
Like, how many of those people did you end up? Because if the answer a year from now is, well, 3 people came here and we hired them.
And that was worth $100,000 of PragerU's money.
Right. Like, there's a reason other states, even red states, are not doing this bullshit. And it's because he hasn't achieved anything.
Yeah.
He wants the press release. He doesn't want the teachers.
And frankly, I'm insulted they left out Illinois. We're plenty woke.
Right.
But I think our ratio of humans to corn maybe tips us redder than we should be.
Right. If you look at the maps that Mary Miller puts out of like the red part of the state, and you're like, look at how red Illinois is. And you're like, Congresswoman from Southern Illinois, land doesn't vote. What are you doing?
I've driven to Southern Illinois multiple times, and there are times that I swear to God, if I pulled off the road, I was the only person within 50 miles of where I was.
Which, again, is fine. That's how states work.
That's how rural America works.
That's not how the House works. You would think a House member would know that. Anyway.
Holy shit.
Oklahoma students don't need Bible mandates or PragerU pop quizzes. They need resources and they need teachers who are willing to come there. And if you want to attract quality teachers to your state, there are things you can do. Pay them more. Make it easier for them without reducing standards, but make it easier for them to transfer to your state. He's not doing any of that shit. I just read an article today that they're looking for like special ed teachers because they need them. I mean, they're hard to find anywhere.
Yeah.
It's like, are you going to put up more obstacles in that one for that too?
Well, yeah, because that's who we should punish is the kids with special needs. That's definitely the population we should pick on.
Way too much time today dealing with all this Ryan Walters stuff.
That's fucking wild. Yeah. And honestly, like, you know, $100,000 could go toward
teacher raises.
It could go toward like
you're only hiring
signing bonuses.
3 new teachers from all these other states.
Or like
anyway.
how do we want to attract more teachers? We'll give them fucking money. Like truly, he spent
$3 million from his own budget. He was willing to on Bibles in the classroom. He's doing everything he can to not give teachers more money.
Like the capitalism of it all makes it fucking crazy when everyone's like, I don't know, the teachers don't want to be here. I can't imagine what it is. And it's like, dude, it's money. Like it's not it's not, we can't do it for the love of the game.
I mean, we've joked about this. They're ranked 49th by some metrics in the nation in education. He will not rest until they are last. And then he's going to blame woke outlets for saying they are last, even though the metrics have nothing to do with him.
What I find confusing is that he must know on some level how little this is doing for the actual constituency.
Oh, yeah, he does not care.
And he just doesn't care. So what is he auditioning for? Because we all assumed he was trying to be the new Secretary of Education under Trump.
But he's
that
not the
didn't happen,
wrestling
which
magnate.
again, I want to be very clear, was one of the highlights of my year when he did not get that job.
Right.
But like,
future Secretary of Ed under a different Republican
or
after
just like I guess a Fox News talking head kind of deal.
Yes,
which honestly, I would love that job. I would be so fucking good as a talking head. I'd have to stop swearing. Never mind.
Yeah. All right. Totally different story here. This is what's a blue law?
Oh, I just was talking about blue laws.
I know you were, and I was teeing you up.
So blue laws are laws that exist in, I think, still a few states, not as many anymore, where you cannot, your ability to buy alcohol is restricted on Sundays, generally, is what it is.
Because that's the Lord's Day.
Because that's the Lord's Day. Now, what this does for a community of people in Indiana who like to drink is that
or who are driven to drink because they live in Indiana.
They live in Indiana, fuck. Is that the most together our campus would be? It was like the Friday before a Monday off, and be like, don't forget, you're gonna want to drink on Sunday night, but you're not gonna be able to buy beer. So get an extra cube of Keystone.
There you go.
And they'll keep you for the weekend. It was just the most generous any of us ever were with each other.
To give you one specific example here, North Dakota used to ban retailers from being open on Sundays. That didn't change. Retailers, not alcohol, just retailers.
Oh, I didn't realize
that. Did not change until 1991. And even then, most stores could only be open after noon. And it wasn't until 2019 that law was repealed entirely, and they said, okay, you could just be open.
That's wild.
Yeah. So why do we do this? Why do some states do this? Because Sunday mornings are for Jesus, and also people don't want any distractions that might lure people away from church. Like historically, that's why you have blue laws. So do
you know where the phrase comes from?
Blue laws?
Yeah.
Why? No.
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I know that
sure
did sound like I did know because that's how I talk, but I just was actually asking.
So there is a county in New Jersey, Bergen County. It's one of the richest counties in the country. But voters there, New Jersey basically gave counties in the state, like, do you want to keep the blue laws that are historically in our state? Like, or do you want to get rid of them? And 19 counties are like, screw them, get rid of them. And Bergen County said, keep them.
We love it.
So voters in Bergen County have opted to maintain the state's blue laws, even as the other 20 counties, I should say, ditch them entirely. That means outside of food or gas, you really can't go shopping in the county on Sundays. And that's
but you can do food.
You can do food or gas. You can't buy socks or other retail shit. If you there are needs, it's okay.
Wait.
If it's wants, pretty much, then no.
Wait, so if I'm going to Walmart, is like half of it, like the clothes section is closed, but the grocery store is open?
I was wondering some of that myself. What about those hybrid stores that have everything? I'm not sure what's allowed and what's not allowed.
Yeah.
But in the city of Paramus,
the
if
phrase
I'm
came
pronouncing
from
it right,
the blue paper that the laws were originally
there
printed
we go.
on in Virginia.
In the city of Paramus, if I'm
1610.
pronouncing that right, in Bergen County, the restrictions are even stricter. They shut down everything that does not sell food. Like, food's okay, nothing else.
No gas.
Like, yeah, they just shut down everything. And usually the reason they've given for why they keep this in place is they don't talk about religion. They just say there's no traffic. And it's so busy on our roads all the days of the week. But Sundays, it's like there's no one driving around. It's so peaceful. That's their argument for why they want to keep the blue laws in place.
I mean, I guess. I frankly see the appeal of that.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
Paramus's laws say that if any businesses are open on Sunday, like other businesses would be pressured to open as well. And that would lead to the, quote, physical and moral debasement of those who run the stores while impinging upon the peace and quiet and rest of those who live in the community.
Hey, Hammett, really quick.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yes. This is in their local code, their ordinances. There's a section that talks about the blue laws. And like number 7, in the blue law section says, the conduct of such Sunday businesses by some tends to compel all businesses to remain open every day of the week for long hours, thereby resulting in the physical and moral debasement of the persons directly concerned with their operations and impinging upon the peace and quiet and rest of the residents of the borough. And number 10 adds, the public policy of our state is against all worldly employment on Sundays, except works of charity and necessity. So they're basically saying, hey, New Jersey has a law on the books. That's a blue law. We're keeping it because it's good.
That's
so
fine.
here's the question. What do you do? Because again, very wealthy county, Bergen County. What do you do if you run?
Oh, it is wealthy.
Very wealthy.
I truly would have guessed
These
the
are
opposite.
very rich people who are like, it's peaceful and quiet, no businesses.
Well, and I have the resources to make sure I have everything I need on any given day.
that too.
So, or I have the resources to send somebody to the next county over.
Which ends up being what a lot of people
Yeah,
do.
of course.
So what do you do if you run the second largest mall in the country with like
I feel like saying that in 2025 is an admission of guilt.
I saw a video of this. Like the mall. Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
walkthrough of the mall. This place looks freaking awesome. I mean, if you've ever been to Mall of America,
Sure have,
the
friend.
biggest one, it's pretty much that. It's just slightly smaller.
I have a picture of me in the Mall of America doing my Mighty Ducks 2 pose
There you
because there's
go.
a very good scene in the very good movie Mighty Ducks 2 where they skate through Mall of America.
This place has an indoor ski slope. They have a water park. Yeah.
Okay, that sounds better than my
So it's,
bullshit.
It's a pretty nice place. So here's the dilemma facing the owners of the American Dream Mall, which is the name of it.
Christ, that's a little on the
When
nose.
they opened in 2019, the owners were basically like, we'll keep the retail stores closed on Sunday, but the indoor theme park, we're not selling food there or other stuff. That can stay open. That's amusement. People are allowed to go there. We're not selling anything.
Wait, I thought it was the opposite. I thought you could only be open if you sold food.
No, it's food. They're not talking about food. They're saying like, oh, you want to use our like water park?
Okay.
We'll keep the water park open. You can come to the mall, use the water park.
Okay.
That's fine. You can't sell socks, T-shirts,
This
merch.
is fucking insane.
I know. The rules are all over the place. But they basically said, when they opened the mall, like, let us build this mall here. We want your...
Bergen County.
In Bergen County. We'll keep the retail stores closed. We'll keep the other stuff open on Sundays because that's when people can shop or can come.
I still don't understand
But anyway,
that part.
earlier this year, a local news outlet reported, no, I was here on Sunday and everything's open. And it has been. It has been for a long time. And they have walkthroughs of them all on YouTube. No one cares about the blue law. They have walkthroughs and the place is packed.
Whose
on a
job is
Sunday.
it to enforce that? Is that because that's not a federal law?
It's not a federal
If it's
law.
a county law, so the sheriff's department is coming in and
I mean,
locking doors.
here's what the article said. County officials are not pleased with American Dream's decision to stay open and have vowed to fight what an emailed statement from county official Derek Sands calls a disregard for the blue laws. The statement reads, its violation gives American Dream Mall tenants an unfair advantage over all other Bergen County businesses.
I mean, he's right.
Lawfully complying with state law. He would be right about that.
He's right about that.
Now, in May, this past May, Bergen
Also,
County officials...
If you say you vow to fight and then the next word is email, that's not going to work.
So this past May, Bergen County officials asked the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, which I think owns the space they're on, to enforce the blue laws. And the state, because that's a state agency, the state's like, it's not our responsibility.
We're busy fighting organized crime. This is New Jersey.
Yeah, the Attorney General's office just didn't say anything to the press. So it looked like the mall, including the retail stores, were like, screw it, we're just staying open because Sundays are good for business. You want to fight us on it? Come fight us on it. And so now, the reason I bring this up, the county is going to court. So last week, the borough of Paramus, they sued everybody. They sued
Borough of Paramus. So it's a borough of the county of Bergen?
Bergen County's the big county. Within it is the borough of Paramus. Paramus officials, they sued everybody. They sued the company that owns the American Dream Mall. They sued the New Jersey Sports and Exposition Authority, which I think owns the land it's on. They sued the borough of East Rutherford, which I think is also on the property or something. And they sued the county of Bergen. They sued everybody.
Yeah.
And what they said is, these retail businesses, with the encouragement and support of the mall's ownership and the acquiescence of all of you freaks, have violated the law hundreds, if not thousands of times since January of this year.
Yeah, dog, then why haven't you done
They
anything?
also say the behavior of these scofflaws, that's the word.
Did he say scuff?
Scofflaws.
It's scofflaw.
Scofflaws?
SCOFF.
I'm sorry, I'm not from the 1700s.
Scofflaw is a real
not
word.
without consequence. Along with hefty criminal fines, the blue laws declare that any property that engages in more than 4 illegal sales on any Sunday is a public nuisance and can be shut down. And then they're saying, so enforce this shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So far, this is a real let them fight situation for me.
So fun. So it's a lawsuit written with like all the energy of old man yelling at cloud. By the way, they complain about how the mall's website says there's 120 stores inside and we're all open on Sundays. They even included a picture in the lawsuit of the big advertisement LCD screen on the outside of the building saying American Dream, all stores open Sundays. It's so funny.
I love this.
Just beautiful trolling.
Like,
Because you know the mall's
just
like, hey,
daring
you
you.
can't go anywhere else around here. Come to the mall.
yeah, but I mean, this honestly, this sort of feels like the plot of like a children's movie.
Yeah,
you
so
know what I mean? Of
here's-
like somebody's breaking a really low stakes law.
Here's where it gets interesting. The mall's owners say, first, this is about jealousy. You're jealous that we're really good at selling shit.
Well-
but also, they say the county does not have the right to impose their blue laws on us because you know they looked at this.
Of course.
Because the mall is on state-owned land, not county-owned land. Specifically, what they're saying is, hey, there's MetLife Stadium next door to us,
Yeah.
which is where the Jets play football games and the Giants play football games. They're on the same type of property we're at, owned by the same state.
Oh, and they
property.
famously play on Sundays.
They famously play on Sundays, and guess what? They sell merch in the stadium
Of course.
on Sundays.
I was
So
thinking about the
their-
whole Chick-fil-A thing about this. This feels
so
similar.
their argument is they're like, when they're basically saying, you let them do it.
Yeah.
We're the same as them.
Yeah.
Just a different type of entertainment venue. So yeah, we can do it too. And the county, the town, you cannot come after us. Like, because we're not violating your laws because you don't own us. You
Cool.
don't control us.
I
Now,
love that.
That said, when the mall's owners were trying to get approval from the state to build this place like a decade ago, they assured state regulators, you guys,
Closed as fuck on Sundays.
We will comply with existing blue laws that limit and preclude
You've
certain
never seen
retailing,
anything more
shopping activities
closed than
on
this
Sundays.
mall.
Yeah.
It was going to be shackles.
So I'm sure they said that to get approval. And then once they're open, they're like, advertise it in big capital letters.
Ooh, I can't tell how I feel about this.
Yeah.
Because, like, this, you know what this is?
Did they lie to get approval? Probably.
Oh, certainly. And I don't give a
But
shit about
did their
that.
lawyers look at this and say, like, yeah, you could open on Sundays, no one's going to give a shit? I'm pretty sure their lawyers looked at it. Because, again, the mall owners probably have really good lawyers who could do this stuff. And the town probably does not.
Yeah, the mall has a water park in it. I bet they have some money stashed away.
Gotta hide the drowned kids.
Oh, God. Jesus, Emmett, you monster. Okay, why are we talking about this? Is it just the idea of blue laws are silly?
Yes.
Great.
Very
Love
much
it.
so.
I've been waiting for the other shoe to drop of like, and then the Pope showed up.
Then the Pope showed up at the American Dream Mall. Like, look, if they win this battle, this is where it gets fun. Other businesses in the county will not be forced to open on Sundays if they don't want to. They can stay closed. They can keep the roads quiet all they want, but at least they'll have the choice. The irony is like, look, this mall is open on Sunday. Even if you did the blue law thing and you shut down the retail stores, people are still driving. And also, if they don't go in your county, they're just driving to the county over. You're making life worse for the people next door to you. It's like buying shit. If it's banned in Illinois, you'll go to Indiana to
That's
get
a
it.
good point.
Like, there's not a tradition worth saving here. And
Yeah.
you don't get to just say like, well, I like the peace, so I'm going to live exactly where I'm at. And you just
And
don't
you have to change around
You have
me.
to change around me. Like, no, just go to a more rural place. That's
Yeah.
how everyone else does it. And by the way, if Paramus does win the lawsuit, it may actually make it much harder for MetLife Stadium to sell shit at football games, which would create a whole new set of problems.
Oh, that's fun.
Which could be really fun.
I love that.
right?
Ooh, I like when little little dumb laws make ripple effects and make it so the Giants can't sell $50 beers at their stadium.
Yes.
Oh,
All right,
boy.
different story altogether. This one's more serious.
I don't want it,
You're
though.
not going to like it.
Well,
Okay.
then maybe we don't have to.
Nope, we have to.
Do
It's the
it?
rule.
so
Joseph Brent Walker is the man's name, and for 25 years, he wrote a column called Value Speak.
Oh,
one
boy.
word.
Ew.
It was
Camel
syndica-
cased? Is the S capitalized?
Yes, it is.
Uh-huh.
And it was syndicated in over 24 newspapers, and he talked about the importance of traditional values.
Okay, I need a gig like this. Can you just send me the link?
I was wondering the
is this
same
guy
thing.
dead? And can I take his spot?
No and no.
Oh, okay.
Because newspapers don't exist anymore.
Oh, I forgot. Remember, you could be a writer for a living. I bet those were
Remember?
really cool times.
So, like, here's an example. One time he said, faith is not for wimps because it takes courage to deal with life's apparent inequities. For example, he wrote, his kids had grown up pretty relatively safe, relatively healthy. That's obviously not true for everyone. Why not? Where are the guardian angels for those other children? Here's what he wrote. So if guardian angels are in any way responsible for the safety and well-being of my family, I am thankful. Truly, I am. But I don't understand the seeming capriciousness of the system. Why is it that my children seem to have been so conscientiously protected while other children face the same situations they faced, including the simple daily act of going to school with disastrous consequences?
Is he
What
back?
happened to those guardian angels? Were they busy, distracted, not paying attention, or just not very good at their jobs? God only knows.
Is he backing into being liberal? Like, he's like, I have good things, but other people don't have good
I
things.
know,
Why
he's
don't they have good
figuring it
things?
out.
Can I help those people?
Here's
Just
another
like
one.
Jesus would have
He
done.
also wrote a column about how like most people are generally good, but there's something about the anonymity of the internet that just turns people horrible. Here's what he wrote.
I guess.
And then, I don't know, something happens to some people. They start doing things and going places and saying stuff that they would never do, go, or say in the real world. One of my friends blames it on what he calls the anonymous intimacy of the internet. If
fair.
no one can see you and no one knows your real name, his reasoning goes, then you can say or do anything you want and not really be accountable for it. And without accountability, he says, things can get ugly.
Okay.
Yeah. Like at the time he wrote that was a novel take. Great
Oh,
hot take.
yeah. Super
right?
novel. I've
Okay.
definitely never heard
There
of
was
it.
also a Mother's Day column, which, I don't know, didn't age well, but okay, he's trying to be romantic about what attracted him to the woman he later married.
Oh, I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
I think men in general, I don't care about your boners.
Uh-huh, but I'll read it to you anyway.
Damn it.
Okay, I'll admit it. I was first attracted to Anita because she was, well, hot. ... But let's be real here. Her, hotness, especially those big,
I'm sorry, did he write,
beautiful- The is in the column.
Oh, go fuck yourself. Good night, Mikey.
Her, hotness, especially those big, beautiful, bewitching eyes, played a significant role in the process that led me to ask her for her hand in marriage. Come on, I was 22 years old at the time. It's not like I was going to fall in love with someone simply because I thought she'd probably be a good mother to our children.
I can't wait to hear about this woman's
And
personality.
yet, 9 months almost to the day after we were married, that's exactly what Anita was. The mother of our first child, confidently cradling in her arms a beautiful little girl who everyone said had her mother's eyes.
Okay.
So
far, he said she's confident, and that's the only thing he said about her besides hot.
implied they had sex on their wedding night, and also his daughter's also hot. I don't know. That's what I'm taking out of that last paragraph.
His daughter's also?
That's what
just
he
because she
wrote.
looks... I think
It
that
was
is
weird.
you being
It was weird. I don't love it. I don't love it.
I don't love it, but I
Okay.
also don't love this man not talking about his wife's personality. So there's a lot of shit I don't like here, Hemmant.
There you go. So the point is, this man knows right from wrong. You could trust him. His faith and family always kept him on the right track. In fact, in 2011, he began working for the Utah-based Deseret News, good news outlet. He was the
yeah.
editor of their faith section. Like he's had a history in newspapers, so they hired him to run their faith section. Previously, before that, he worked in the public affairs department of the Mormon Church.
Ah.
He knew plenty about the LDS community. So, of course, be the editor of the Utah newspaper's faith section. That makes sense. He stayed in there for 2 years. More recently, he's the communications director for the Utah Department of Transportation. I mean, newspapers are having a tough time keeping people.
Sure.
So he's like, all right, I'll leave. I'm
Yeah.
going to get another job doing communications elsewhere. Okay. That's this guy for you. Again, this is Joseph Walker. Why is he in the news this week? He's 70, by the way. Now
He's 70?
He's 70. He was recently hit with multiple felony charges, and it didn't go. Oh, I'm just going to read you the article here. All right, you ready for this? During the operation, the decoy was contacted by an individual with the screen name of William Wallace, later identified by police as Walker.
Listen, if you're
Big
an
Chris-
American
big
dude,
Chris Hansen shit going on here.
oh my God, if you're an American dude calling yourself William Wallace, like I
Who's the other-
guarantee you this
who's-
man does not have any
Pop
Scottish
quiz,
blood.
Who's the other Christian person who identified as William Wallace online?
Oh, was it? Did you just say who it was?
Mark Driscoll. Do you remember that? That was his alias when he trolled people on the internet.
William Wallace was a famous leader from Scotland who was part of the Scottish Rebellion and a really interesting
Depicted
character.
in Braveheart. Yep.
I was gonna pass over that because I don't like remembering that Mel Gibson exists. But a really outstanding man and a I don't know, naming yourself after a real man who actually did shit and you're just like, oh, weasel behind a computer is embarrassing.
Anyway, why was he William Wallace? They said he reportedly started engaging in explicit online conversations with the purported juvenile. The suspect's intent, the detective noted, was to seduce, lure, and entice the minor into engaging into various sexual acts. The detective posing as a decoy made it abundantly clear she was claiming to be a 14-year-old girl.
Fuck.
And throughout the message threads, Walker allegedly stated he did not care if the girl was a minor. Rather, are you ready for this?
He preferred it.
Rather, it was her age that made him aroused. Walker then reportedly sent inappropriate images to the detective that he believed to be an underage girl on at least 2 occasions.
I just want to reiterate, none of us care about your boner, dude.
Right. Glad he did not write a column about this one.
So that means he's had a history of this.
Well-
if a detective got involved and, catfished him or whatever.
Yeah. I don't know if that suggests a history, only that he seemed very comfortable and knew what he was doing in this case. Because he also apparently told the decoy, keep our chat secret. And he also laid out, according to investigators, elaborate fantasies about what he would do.
Yeah,
with the
that's
children.
not somebody's first time doing this kind of thing. This is somebody who got real comfortable.
So get this. When he was contacted by a Deseret News reporter about the charges.
His coworker?
Well, no longer, right? But they contacted him. They're like, so what's up with all this? And he said on the phone, I'm not aware of these charges, so I don't have anything to say.
Oh, I feel like he'd be the first to know.
Because he hadn't been arrested yet, and the reporter got a hold of the documents before they went after the dude. And then when he's like, oh no.
And then he can hear the sirens in the background. Oh my God. I'm so happy.
This is from another article. There was evidence to suggest Walker attempted to flee the court's jurisdiction before turning himself in, the prosecutor alleged. The prosecutor told the judge when the warrant was first issued and before any charges were filed, prosecutors learned that a news outlet reportedly reached out to Walker and disclosed information on the case. At that point, the prosecutor said,
I'm so happy.
Walker left work early.
Oh, yeah?
Working for the Department of Transportation.
That's right.
He left work early and was essentially on the run to some degree. Officers were unable to locate Walker for several days until he hired a defense attorney who essentially told him to turn himself in.
Oh my God. Okay, who fucked up the hardest here? Like, how did the press release get out? I know this doesn't matter,
Right?
but I just want to know.
First of all, kudos to the reporter who's like, I'm on this beat.
Fucking Johnny on the spot. He's
I'm
like,
gonna
oh, good
get
news.
my quotation right now.
I'm surprised he didn't like jump through his window like, hey.
Going through the company Rolodex, we got his number.
Oh, that's so funny.
Funniest thing in a horrible situation.
Can you imagine getting a phone call?
So, I heard you're about to get arrested.
What? Wait, me? Me, Jessica? Oh, God, that's so
So he now
wild.
faces 5 years in jail for each of the 3 charges. 1, going after the 14-year-old,
Yeah.
and 2, sending images that
Dick
no one
pics?
wanted to see. Yep.
No one wants to
this
see
is
your
interesting.
boner.
There's a website called floodlit.org, which is a website that tracks sexual abuse by members of the Mormon Church.
Oh.
So floodlit.org, they noted that Walker was a former Mormon bishop in the early 1990s, which only means you're like part of the congregation and they elevate you like you're a leader.
Is it like
everyone
one
trusts.
past elder?
Pretty much. Yeah. It's like an elder. And he was also a stake presidency counselor in 1993. You're like the overseer of some of these spots. So he wasn't just a random dude going to a Mormon church. He was like a leader to an extent.
Oh my God, I just remembered the thing he did about animate and not being anonymous online.
Yes.
Anonymity.
He did write that article about what anonymity on the internet does to people.
Oh,
yes.
boy.
Yes. Go back and rewind.
I just remembered that.
So after he was arrested, this is where it gets also disturbing. After he was arrested, because they got him finally.
Yeah.
The court received letters of support.
Did he turn himself in or they had to snag him?
He did. After his attorney's like, yeah, you're not looking good.
At least
here.
he listens to someone.
All right. So the court got letters of support from people who know him, and they're like, he's not really a threat to kids. One supporter said Walker, quote, is a flawed man, but he is not a predator nor a threat to any community he is involved in. Another said,
people speak so confidently.
Joe has always been a deeply religious person, as if that negates all. Like,
sure.
That doesn't look good.
Most Catholic priests are atheists.
Another came from a Utah Valley University professor who said it is impossible for him to, quote, reconcile the man I know and the man described in that article about the arrest. However, even given that, he's like, you could say, listen, this guy is not the guy I knew. That might be fine. But that professor still said that he thought Walker should be, quote, released on bail pending trial. Like, let this guy free. Come on.
I don't know that he's earned that.
Yet, right? So he was initially held in jail without bail. He has since been released to home confinement with an electronic ankle monitor.
Cute.
He's also forbidden from accessing the internet or having any contact with minors. So, to summarize, this man spent decades lecturing the public about morality and faith, used his columns to lament a world where anonymous intimacy could lead people astray. And the second thought he was anonymous, or thought he preyed on the sort of victim he once claimed to protect. The same guy who questioned where the guardian angels were when children suffered by his own alleged actions, the very danger those angels should have been guarding against.
I just cannot. How do these people keep doing this over and like?
You've asked me this before. Like, how you come across a story about a religious leader who got arrested for something awful? I'm like, dime a dozen, can't cover it.
We can't
not
cover
that
everyone.
Important. That's a rando.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like, oh no, there's more to this dude.
Yeah, he was a published columnist.
He's a published columnist. He's a leader in the Mormon church. Not like high up, but like locally he was a leader. And he talked about the importance of faith and morality for years.
Do you think there's ever going to be a time that people finally recognize that predators are everywhere and being religious does not make you immune to being a monster? Like,
the Republican Party will kick you out.
I guess that's a good point. I mean, that really is the problem. And I said this last week.
Like,
that,
I know that.
Yeah, that men are protecting themselves and protecting their friends and protecting their boners, and not so interested in protecting, vulnerable people. Mm-hmm. Good for them, just like Jesus said.
Totally different story here.
Boy.
Yeah. So we talked not that long ago about an Arkansas judge who said their state law to put the 10 Commandment posters up in classrooms. Federal judge shot it down, said you can't do that. He issued a preliminary injunction saying, I'm only saying this applies to the districts named in the lawsuit. And we're waiting on a final result on that. And this has also happened in other states. Texas already got a preliminary injunction. Louisiana got their entire thing shot down by the judge and upheld by an appellate court. So this has been happening everywhere. But the interesting thing is when the judge, his name is Timothy Brooks, when Judge Brooks issued his preliminary injunction, he said, in the districts named in the lawsuit, you can't put up the 10 Commandments, and I'm going to get back to you about the rest of it later. After he issued that preliminary injunction, all the groups that sued, that filed the lawsuit, that includes Americans United for Separation of Church and State, the ACLU, Freedom from Religion
Does that
Foundation.
include the individuals?
And on behalf of the individuals they were representing.
I see.
The families they were representing. Those groups sent a letter to the other 233 school districts in Arkansas
Genius.
and they said, hey, Brooks, the judge, said the Ten Commandments law is obviously unconstitutional, his phrase, and that, listen, even if he hasn't applied this to you yet, the decision seems pretty clear.
Sure.
So since school's starting up soon, don't do it yet.
Yeah.
Because you could be sued.
Oh, so
as
he's
well.
not encouraging them to file their own lawsuit or jump onto this litigation.
No. He's just saying, look, you guys filed a
cut the
lawsuit on
brakes.
behalf of these families. So you know what? You win for now.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you about everybody and how extensive this is
Do you
later.
have a sense of why he would reserve judgment?
I think they needed a quick thing. School starting soon. We need an answer before school starts. And
Got
he's like,
you.
you know what? I'll give you a quick answer. My quick answer is, I think you're right.
Yeah.
So in those school districts,
I see.
the Ten Commandments don't go up.
I see.
I say this is not a lawyer. I'm making all this up. But he's saying, like, I'll get back to you on a real answer on your constitutional question later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
So he did that. And then these church-state separation groups tell all the other school districts, hey, just FYI, this is what this judge said. You're going to be told, we're telling you, you're going to be told to take them down. So don't waste your time.
Yeah, don't waste your
basically.
money.
This is what they actually wrote. Even though your district is not a party to the ongoing lawsuit, all school districts have an independent obligation to respect students' and families' constitutional rights, ... We thus urge you to respect the First Amendment rights of students and families by not implementing the statute.
Okay.
Not saying we're going to sue you if you do, like you're not under hook for that, but
It's
just
more of an
FYI.
advisory.
Yes, it's an advisory thing. It's honestly, it's the letter that the state officials should have sent to everybody in all the school districts, right? Like just saying, hey, look, this law that we passed, we don't know if it's going to be upheld.
Right.
So maybe don't go ahead and do it because it's a waste of everyone's time. But it's red state Arkansas. That's not going to happen. Republicans don't give a shit about the law. So you had to have these church-state separation groups write those letters.
Right.
Okay. Why do I bring this up? There is one school district called the Conway School District. They got the letter from the ACLU and FFRF and AU. They did it anyway. They posted the Ten
Interesting.
Commandments in every classroom. And like, there are pictures of the Ten Commandments posters in these classrooms.
Would you say the letters were more of like, don't feel like you have to do this right now, or was it more like, don't do this?
It was a stern, don't do this, but
Okay.
also, look, this isn't about the lawsuit, but like, we will come after you too.
Yeah.
But for now, just we're giving you a heads up so you don't waste your time.
So these people who are putting it up are being somewhat defiant.
Yes.
Okay.
And this is the one school district that we know of that got the letter.
Right.
And they said, haha, screw you, we're doing it anyway. And in fact, in a letter to the district's principals, their lawyer for the district said, hey, the judge's orders only apply to the 4 districts named in the lawsuit, not ours. So go ahead and put it up, is what the lawyer told the district.
Okay.
So here's where it gets interesting. Not only did the lawyer for the district say, it's fine, go do it, they did it. And then families in that district are like, the fuck are you doing? And so in the span of 1 week, the church-state separation groups went back to that judge and said, hey, you know, we filed that lawsuit against 4 school districts. Can we change it to 5? And by the way, we have 2 new plaintiffs we're representing, parents in the district.
In the Conway district.
And the Conway School District as a defendant. And like normally, you can't do that in the middle of a lawsuit. Just say like, hey, we want to tag on
that seems
these
insane.
people. So like, by the way, their new clients did not even realize the district was going to violate the law until their kids began the school year and saw the Christian signs in their classrooms. So they're like, look, we would have included them beforehand, but the posters, we didn't think they were going to go up. So like, we have a legit reason, Judge, to come to you now and say, we want to add a 5th district to this lawsuit because these kids just started school and the signs are up. And so only now did they know this district is violating the law.
Oh,
and by the way,
yeah.
the parents involved did ask the district to remove the posters as soon as they saw them, and the administrator said no. So get this timeline. This is last week. On Wednesday, the judge says, fine, you can amend your lawsuit.
Oh, my God.
They amended on Thursday. Resubmit the entire lawsuit
Wow.
with a 5th school district as plaintiff and as defendant, and 2 more parents and their families
What's
as plaintiffs.
the benefit of that? Do they think they need to strengthen their case?
They're saying, like, yes, pretty much. They're
Okay.
saying, hey, look, no one has done this, but these 4 school districts said they're going to do it, and we have plaintiffs in
I
those school
see.
districts. But also, we didn't know this district was going to do it, but now that school has started, we have a parent,
Sure.
2 parents, who are like, hey, this is happening. They are violating the law right now, so can we do
Right.
it? And in the span of like one day, the judge says, yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
They turn in their revised lawsuit,
Wow.
and that night, the judge basically says, oh, yeah, I'm going to
Cut this
take
shit
this.
out.
Well, before we get to that,
Oh.
in their amended lawsuit,
Yeah.
they say, hey, one parent emailed the school board as soon as she saw the 10 Commandments poster in her kid's classroom, demanded it be taken down. The school board member in Conway School District, responded, to answer your question, no, I do not think I will. I do not agree with you at all, but glad to hear you had a great time at the open house.
What a bitch.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Ugh.
And then
That is some passive aggressive suburban
So they-
mom bullshit.
I think it's a male who said that to them. Whatever. Thursday,
Criticism still stands.
they submit the amended lawsuit Thursday morning. Thursday night, Brooks, the judge, issues his ruling. And he basically said, you know what I said to those 4 school districts?
Same goes.
You too. He wrote, Conway plaintiffs, the families,
Yeah.
are identically situated to the original plaintiffs. They advance the same legal arguments, assert the same constitutional injuries, and request the same relief. Hey, district, you got to take your posters down by the end of Friday. It's Thursday night when he sends this order down.
Whoa.
So this is amazing. All posters displaying the 10 Commandments in compliance with Act 573 must be removed from all classrooms and libraries by no later than 5 p.m. tomorrow, August 29th.
Oh my God.
So to put it another way, everything I said about the 4 school districts, it's
Yeah.
5 now, and do it
it's y'all.
right now, and I'm watching you.
So he did say cut this shit out.
He did say cut the shit out.
Wow.
Yeah. Incredible. So, like, this is a warning for every district. Like, we are not messing around on this one.
Well, and I feel like the first time we talked about this, some of the pushback from the districts was it hasn't happened yet, so you can't have been
You can't be
injured.
offended by this. We haven't put up the posters
Which is
yet.
so
And again,
disingenuous.
the reason those first 4 parents could sue
Yeah.
with the help of the ACLU, et cetera, is because they're like, well, we know what the posters are going to look like because the law says exactly what they're going to look
Well,
like.
yeah, it's like-
And the judge said, yeah, that's fair. You don't need to wait for them to go up.
Yeah. If somebody says they're going to kick me in the stomach,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to wait to be kicked in the stomach to be like, I don't want this to happen
Right.
to me, and it will be unpleasant.
Right. So good for that judge, and we're still waiting for that final ruling to come down. By
wow.
the way.
This is
That was Arkansas.
Arkansas. Jeez
Yeah.
Louise.
And I got one last quick one for you before we're done here, which is a follow-up to a story we talked about earlier. So Texas Republicans, last year,
Boo.
there you go. I think we talked about it almost a year ago. It's been a while. But they passed
Been a
a
while.
law. Texas Republicans passed a Bible-heavy reading and language arts curriculum for public schools. And here's why this is important. 2023, Republicans in the state passed a bill that directed the Texas Education Agency, their
Okay.
state group, hey, develop instructional materials that align with state standards. We've already passed the standards here, and we need you to make materials for school districts to use. That's something that an education agency should do.
I bet that's a fun job.
And in theory, that's actually a good thing for poor school districts because that means they don't have to buy their own textbooks from outside companies. They can just take what the state's making
Sure.
and use that. And you're not forced to use it, but you have that option.
It's the least
like
cost-effective
the
option.
generic version,
Yeah.
right, of a curriculum. But the state also dangled like a carrot in front of all these districts. They said, if you use our resources, we'll give you up to $60 a student in your district. So, like, yeah.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. If you're a low-income school
Oh my
district,
God.
how could you say no to this?
No.
And now, like, if you want to argue, is this really a good use of state dollars? Because this bill it was projected to cost the state $731 million over 2 years.
Jesus.
To do all the things they were trying to do.
So much money.
And I think the bill had other stuff as well, obviously. But okay, we can argue, is this a good use of your dollars? But some critics said, if you raise teachers' salaries, that would be a better use than trying to get this resources.
Earlier.
Right?
Everybody rewind 40 minutes.
But anyway, that year, the State Board of Education, they posted drafts of the new material online. This is the state-funded resources. And that included the English language arts and reading material for students in kindergarten through 5th grade. And basically, they're doing this so the public can weigh in before it's finalized. And one of the takeaways that we talked about a year ago when they did this is, wow, there's a lot of Christianity in this shit. Yeah. And the reason is...
That does sound like us.
Yes. Reason is... Who had input on this curriculum? What you want to hear are teachers, academic experts, professors who know the subject material really well. In this case, they relied on Hillsdale College in Michigan, which is conservative Christian school.
In Michigan?
Yeah, very famously, Hillsdale College is like the Project 2025, we manipulate public policy. That's their whole thing.
In Michigan, it seems like such a nice state.
But they have pockets like the DeVos people, you know.
Oh, I forgot about Betsy DeVos.
And
is she dead yet?
Not yet. No one's dead. No one ever dies.
I have so much fucking champagne in my house.
Save it for the bonus.
I just want everyone to die.
So Hillsdale College weighed in on the curriculum. So did the right-leaning Texas Public Policy Foundation. They're the group behind the Let's Get 10 Commandments in Every Classroom
It's weird. Nobody called me.
I know.
So strange.
For example, I won't go through all this. We did it before. But for example, there was material for 5th graders in a unit called Juneteenth and Beyond, which, good, it's Texas. You better be studying
Juneteenth is really early to say and beyond, if I'm being honest.
But one of the things you're supposed to do in that part of the curriculum is we want kids to read Martin Luther King Jr.'s letter from a Birmingham jail.
Great.
And he wrote that after he was arrested during a nonviolent protest and after several white clergy members urged Black Americans just be patient, fight racism in the courts. And King responded in this letter. I'm quoting here.
So good.
For years now, I've heard the word wait.
Wait.
It rings in the ear of every Black person with a piercing familiarity. This wait has almost always meant never. And he also quoted the line, justice too long delayed is justice denied. Now, in the midst of this letter...
Deferred is just... It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Sorry, I focus on the wrong things sometimes.
In the middle of the letter, he basically said, listen, the form of protest that I'm advocating for is not new. He actually wrote, it was seen sublimely in the refusal of 3 Bible characters to obey the laws of Nebuchadnezzar because a higher moral law was involved. He referenced a Bible thing. Don't worry about it. It was practiced superbly by the early Christians who were willing to face hungry lions and the excruciating pain of chopping blocks before submitting to certain unjust laws of the Roman Empire. Okay, so here's that story, just really quick. In the book of Daniel, there are 3 Bible characters who are thrown into a furnace because they're not bowing down to an image of the king of Babylon, who is named Nebuchadnezzar.
Craven
But when the king looked to see them burned up, he noticed 4 figures, one of whom looked to be like a son of God. And guess what? The 3 men were not harmed.
Oh, that's fun for them.
The thing is, how significant is that Bible?
How does he know what the Son of God looks like?
Don't worry about it. How significant were those Bible references in the King letter? Not at all. He made so many allusions in that letter. Like, I looked at the Wikipedia article for letter from Birmingham jail. Doesn't even mention the Bible reference because it's not important. So when people talk about King's letter, those dudes do not come up because the bigger picture of what he's saying is more important. And of all the allusions he has in it, that's not the one that matters. Now, what did they do in Texas? In the student activity book for this unit, when they are discussing this letter, they make it all about this reference. All right? Kids are asked to write a response to the question, why did Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. reference the story of Daniel in this letter? They could have asked...
That's a cuckoo bananas crazy pants thing to ask.
They could have asked, why does he reference Socrates and Aristotle? Yeah. Why does he bring up Brown versus Board of Education? Why did King mention Thomas Jefferson and Abraham Lincoln? Nope, none of that. They specifically focus on the Bible reference and not the other stuff.
I mean, this is this is David Barton territory
Yeah.
of just.
But you get what they're doing here. They're using a minor reference to the Bible and blowing it up out of proportion to centralize it within a discussion of Martin Luther King Jr.
It's just
Right?
so intellectually designed. This shit
Yes.
makes me so fucking angry.
One other quick one is that there was a second grade lesson in a unit called Fighting for the Cause, where students are introduced to ordinary people who stood up for what they believed in and who fought for a cause, even when faced with immeasurable odds, which is great. And in that unit, they talk about Jackie Robinson and Rosa Parks and the biblical
big two.
character Queen Esther.
This is the fucking second time Queen Esther has come up in this podcast, and it just makes me realize how few women there are in the fucking Bible. It's like Esther and Ruth and Mary.
You know, at the end of a unit in any social studies textbook, they're like,
Yes.
recall some questions here, like, what action did Rosa Parks take that helped to bring about change in the South?
She didn't get off the bus.
There you go.
I knew that one.
And they also ask, like, what group of people did Queen Esther save from a plan to destroy them?
The Jews?
As it is the Jewish people of Persia, but like they're treating it as if it's historical fact.
Along the lines with like the bus, the bus strikes.
And it didn't stop there. They have a packet of images for teachers that you can use when you are teaching this
that's
unit.
so nice of them.
And they have pictures of like Cesar Chavez. And there are paintings of historical figures like William Penn and William Wilberforce and Esther, who did not actually exist. There's a painting of Queen Esther.
What does she look like?
Like
White?
whatever you made up a picture of an ancient woman to look like, they have a painting. It doesn't say this is artist's rendering because we're just making this shit
No, this is
up.
a portrait.
It looks like
it's called
yes.
art.
It is clipped from an 1878 painting made by some dude. It's not a portrait session. He just drew it out of thin air because she doesn't exist.
Yeah, of course. I mean, whether or not she existed, I am not going to talk about this.
There's literally a note for teachers that says, show image this one, Queen Esther. You will read a story from the Bible about Queen Esther.
Is she depicted as a white lady?
White passing. Yeah.
White passing?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
I don't know. I just heard Jesus of Persia, and I cannot imagine that
get
bitch
the
had
idea.
blonde hair.
By the way, they have a whole section on the Renaissance, 5th grade, and they have a section on Leonardo da Vinci, which, of course, you got to mention The Last Supper as the painting, but they spend a whole lot of time talking about what the book of Matthew said about the Last Supper. That's what this whole curriculum does. They
so
take small
stupid.
Bible things and blow them up.
Here's the thing that they're getting wrong is that if you try to teach a kid fucking anything, they're going to hate it. So trying to cram this down their throats is not going to go the way they think it's going to go.
So Texas ditched the organization that was actually developing the curriculum for the state in order to work with these right-wing groups
Cool.
like Hillsdale and the Texas Public Policy Foundation. This is what they came up with. And by the way, there's a news outlet called The 74, which is about education. They pointed out Texas is already offering high school elective courses on the Bible, which would be fine if they're taught objectively. They never are.
Shan't.
But here's the thing. They said those classes are not popular. Like, there are 1.7 million high school students in this in the country. That's not Texas. No, that's
million?
just Texas. That's just Texas.
No, that's too many kids.
1.7 million high school
No
students.
wonder that state's a mess. There's too many
Just
teenagers running
over
around.
1,200 took the Bible elective course.
Well, it's because their parents are dragging them to Sunday school, Wednesday night prayer study.
So anyway,
CCD.
this new Bible-infused curriculum, they call it the Blue Bonnet Learning Curriculum.
After the flower?
They did adopt that curriculum for the state, despite the public pushback last year.
And now
So here's the
Texas is
question.
leading the world in scientists.
Now we have this new school year. How many people are now using the curriculum that the state has now approved? This Bible-infused curriculum. According to the Texas Tribune, roughly 300 public and charter schools, representing about 25% of school districts in the state, say, yeah, we're using it.
I'm sorry, that felt like a little editorializing from one Hemet
Maybe
Meta.
a little bit. Here's the thing.
We're using it.
Here's the thing. A lot of those school districts, when the outlet talked to them, the administrators, they're like, we're doing this because of the financial perks.
Yeah.
To align with state standards and to avoid the severe repercussions if students don't perform as they're supposed to on standardized tests. Because I think one of the threats here is if you're using our material and your kids still don't perform where they're supposed to perform, if you don't use our material, like we're going to come after your entire school district. We're going to harsh punishments. But if you're using our material and the kids are struggling, there's more leeway for your school district. So they're like, look, the safe thing for us to do is to take the money, use it. They're not adopting it because of the Christianity. They're using it despite the Christianity.
Fucking sucks.
Yes. Now, does it mean they're going to teach the lessons with the religious messaging, or are they going to skip over that shit and teach kids something that's actually useful? And the thing is, it's too early to tell. But skipping those sections is an option because, according to the Texas Tribune, the religious references only make up a fraction of the reading curriculum, and using Bluebonnet does not necessarily mean a school plans to teach biblical lessons in their classroom.
Okay.
They could, for example, ignore any chapters that reference Christianity or other religions.
But what about the standardized testing? Is that going to...
Standardized testing is not going to ask about the Bible stuff. They're going to ask...
It's not.
No.
But aren't the same people writing the curriculum the ones...
Writing the standardized test? No, not necessarily.
Oh.
So more than one district said, we are definitely skipping the reading sections in the Bluebonnet lessons. Why? Because they're just not at a high level.
Oh, just the quality of the education material sucks?
Here's what they said.
That doesn't surprise
Sandy
me.
Denning, an associate superintendent who oversees curriculum for the Keene Independent School District, told the Texas Tribune that Bluebonnet's reading materials currently do not meet the level of rigor the district wants. She did not point to any specific parts, but described the problem as across the board.
I mean, that truly is the problem with a lot of things like this, of if your goal is not to create good learning material for
Just
kids.
To create Bible-infused material.
You're not gonna hire a copywriter. I'll tell you that right fucking now. And it's gonna be full of holes and it's gonna be bad because you cannot drive something with an agenda and then they're not gonna. All they care about is getting their agenda out there, and they just don't care about the educational standards.
Texas Republicans will tell you this plan is a success. Just look at all the school districts adopting our new curriculum. But when you ask the administrators why they're using it, the truth comes out. It's not because of the religion. It's not because of this. It's because you're basically bribing us and threatening us. And that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that the students treat their education like Sunday school. They never think critically about this stuff. And if that works, Texas Republicans are not going to stop at putting Bible stories into reading lessons. They'll do it all across the board.
Yep.
So anyway, 25% of Texas schools are now using this religious curriculum.
Do you think this is
That's the takeaway.
this is kind of a random question, but I kind of always was under the impression that people were generally getting more liberal over the course of the last 30 years or whatever. Do you think that the population at large is becoming more conservative, or do you think the people who are conservative and have any power? Yeah.
And they're trying to
Do you think that's what it is?
grasp whatever they can of their power, and they have enough of it.
Right
and
now.
they have the ability to change the rules so that they can't lose even as their percentages slip.
Okay.
I mean, that's the whole game
Yeah, that's just
Republicans are playing across the country right now.
Like when I just think about these people trying to like subvert education standards, when these are, I'm sure, people who went to fucking Yale and Harvard and like all of these like Georgetown kind of places and are like, ooh, but go fuck yourself.
Well, I mean, how many Republican politicians graduated from elite Ivy League schools, and then their entire brand is, man, these elitists are out to get you.
I feel like you just repeated the thing I just said.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm so curious about motivations because maybe I'm stupid, maybe I'm naive. I just don't believe that Republicans want to make people dumber.
Why not?
Because that feels...
Because I very much feel that way.
I mean, that feels insane. That feels like like, why would you want that for, like, to an end? To an end? Like, what is the point? What is the point of making your people dumber? Like,
they want to wreck the economy for the same reason. They want to wreck in the environment.
But they need doctors. They need teachers. And they just don't want to turn them out and then get mad at people who do want education.
Because they know blue states are going to provide it for them.
I guess I just don't understand the
They'll be fine. They will be fine.
Oh, my God. The number of times people who I'm related to have been like, we'll be fine. And then I punched them in the face and now I'm not invited to Christmas. Yeah, I guess maybe I am just naive because that just seems like a crazy goal is to make our people dumber.
I mean,
because
here's
they
where it's going
know
to
they need
backfire on
smart
them.
people. They know they need doctors.
Some of those states are shutting down their hospitals.
Yeah.
Some of those states are having the biggest brain drains imaginable.
Yeah.
And it's starting to hurt them, and Republicans know it. And then you get the Ryan Walters situation where they're like, hey, New York, California teachers, we need you. Come to our state, but also we're going to put this
But
obstacle.
he didn't say we need you.
But they do, because they have no teacher. You're right. He didn't say that. The state does need other teachers, though. They're not getting
But that's
enough
not a way to
homegrown.
get more teachers. That's a way to pull a stunt.
But you could pretend you're like, look, we are bringing them in.
We're doing our best.
Ryan Walters has also said other stuff like we're offering bonuses if you come on, like signing bonuses, things like that. They're not a lot, but he does say stuff like that.
Sure.
But also they don't.
So you
wanna
think he's covering his ass enough to answer questions
It's
from
not
press?
to go back to your point. None of this stuff is going to matter until enough voters get mad about it.
Yeah.
And it affects them where they're like, I can't go to the hospital even though I need one because there are no doctors here and no hospitals here and I can't get the care I need.
Well-
and until that happens to enough people in these red states where they've pushed all the people out that could take care of them, yeah, it's not going to happen because they vote against their best interests.
And this truly is, we talked about this last week with the Jehovah's Witnesses of all of a sudden like, oh, education is okay because
you're losing all the people because they know
losing
that
people and
education is
losing
better.
money, it all comes back to the money. And I guess that's what surprises me about the Republicans is like, if your constituency is getting poorer and poorer, like, I guess they're only counting on the 1%, right, to donate to them anymore. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good podcast.
Go to patreon.com
I'm so tired.
/friendly atheist podcast. What do we got in the bonus?
I was supposed to do nothing today, and
Too
now
bad.
I'm doing 18 things.
Too bad.
I went to the Brookfield Zoo over the weekend. It was magical, and I loved it.
Excellent. I saw something on Netflix that was interesting. I will talk about it.
Why are you so mysterious?
Because it's called a bonus episode, not let's talk about it in the last 5 minutes of
But
this
I want
episode.
to talk about. I don't know. I had other things I was going to write down, but then I started doodling instead. So,
There you go.
oh, you know what I'm going to do is find a review. You do some
Excellent.
vamping,
You
friend.
leave a review on the iTunes.
The iTunes, that's what we
and
call
go
it.
to patreon.com /friendly atheist podcast. We're about to hit episode 600.
Can you fucking believe it?
And
Oh, nope, nothing new. Oh, you know what I want to do really quick is thank my friend David, who sent me a pair of sandals. He sent me some Birks, which fucking rules, and I've worn them every day. And then I emailed him a thank you note, and it went to his spam, so he thought I was a monster, and I feel pretty bad about that. But genuine, it was just because I was bitching about walking around. I love to walk around barefoot, and he's like, "How about some Birks?" I was like, "Yeah." That was genuinely one of the nicest things somebody has done for me in a long time. Yeah,
see
that's
you
it.
next week.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.